It was supposed to be just another ordinary day in Judge William Carter's courtroom. But as he looked up from the case file, his breath caught. Standing before him in the defendant's chair was a face he hadn't seen in 30 years. Michael Adams. His childhood best friend. The one who once shared dreams of changing the world with him. The courtroom's silence grew heavy as William's heart pounded. Memories of laughter, football in the rain, and promises of brotherhood flooded back. But now, Michael stood accused of embezzlement, a serious crime. William tried to steady his voice, his duty as a judge battling the shock in his chest. The man who once helped him study for exams was now fighting for his freedom. Their eyes met, and in that brief moment, 1,000 questions passed between them. How did life twist so cruelly that one became a judge, and the other a criminal? The gavel came down gently, but inside, William knew this trial would test far more than law. It would test loyalty, conscience, and the very meaning of justice. Long before this courtroom tension, William and Michael were inseparable. Growing up in the same small town, they were like brothers. William dreamed of justice, Michael dreamed of success. Together, they made promises under the oak tree behind their school, promises that no matter what life brought, they would always stay honest and true. But years passed, and life scattered them in different directions. William went to law school, driven by purpose. Michael, on the other hand, faced hardship, his family business collapsed, and debts followed. Letters stopped coming. When William became a judge, he tried to reach out, but Michael was already lost in the noise of the world. Now, as William watched him standing there, his clothes worn, eyes tired yet defiant, he wondered, was this really the same friend he once called brother? Or was this a stranger shaped by pain and poor choices? The past and present collided in William's mind, blurring the lines between justice and friendship. The courtroom murmured as the prosecutor laid out evidence, financial records, missing company funds, false signatures. Every word felt like a dagger to William's heart. Michael stood silently, eyes fixed on the table, his hands trembling slightly. When his lawyer rose to speak, she painted a different picture, a man framed, desperate to protect his sick wife, manipulated by his own employer. William's chest tightened. Could Michael really have done this? Or was he paying for someone else's greed? Every fiber of his being wanted to believe in his old friend. But a judge couldn't rely on emotion. Justice demanded clarity, not memories. Still, when Michael finally looked up and whispered, "Will, you still believe in me?" It shattered William's calm. The courtroom didn't hear it, but he did. And for the first time in years, the man behind the robe felt torn between duty and heart. That night, William couldn't sleep. The city lights flickered outside his window as he replayed their childhood in his mind. Michael had once saved him from a group of bullies. He'd even helped William afford his college books by working extra hours. He wasn't a criminal, he was a survivor. But the documents said otherwise. William pulled out the case files again, searching for something, anything, that didn't add up. And there it was, a small signature, inconsistent on several pages. His instincts as a judge, and as a friend, screamed that something was wrong. The next morning, he quietly ordered an independent handwriting analysis. He knew it was risky. Judges weren't supposed to interfere in investigations. But he couldn't let guilt swallow an innocent man. This wasn't just a trial anymore. It was redemption, for both of them. The next hearing changed everything. The expert's report arrived, and William's hands shook as he read it. The signatures on the documents didn't match Michael's handwriting. Someone had forged his name. When court resumed, William's expression remained calm, but inside, his heart raced. The prosecutor argued fiercely, trying to dismiss the new findings. Yet the truth had already started to surface like sunlight through clouds. The company's financial officer, a man named Robert Hale, was called in for questioning. His nervous glances and hesitant answers told their own story. The courtroom leaned in as William's voice echoed, "Mr. Hale, would you like to explain why your initials appear on every altered document?" Silence. The truth had found its way into the light, and suddenly, the man everyone believed guilty began to look more like a victim. When the verdict was finally delivered, the air in the courtroom was thick with emotion. Michael was found not guilty. Tears welled in his eyes as he looked up at the man who had once been his best friend. William's hand trembled slightly as he set the gavel down. Justice had prevailed, but more than that, a bond once broken had been healed. As the guards released Michael, he stepped forward. "You didn't give up on me," he whispered. William smiled softly, "Neither did you." Around them, reporters clicked photos, but neither man cared. After decades apart, the weight of misunderstanding lifted. It wasn't just a verdict, it was forgiveness wrapped in truth. Weeks later, they met again beneath that same old oak tree where their promises were born. Time had changed them, but the friendship that once shaped their youth still lived. Michael spoke quietly. "I lost myself trying to make life fair, but you reminded me what justice really means." William looked at him, voice steady but warm. "And you reminded me that the law isn't just words, it's about people." The wind carried the soft rustle of leaves as they laughed like boys again, their pain turning into peace. The camera of fate had captured a story not just of crime and courtroom drama, but of redemption, loyalty, and the enduring power of friendship. In the end, what shocked everyone wasn't the verdict, it was the reminder that sometimes, the heart of justice beats in the memories we never forget.